What is up, guys? Poutymuffin here, and we are back with another video. So, that felt weird to kind of say, because I usually say some kind of video, but I just said video, because we're going to be talking about some different stuff here in this video. I mean, you can see it. I have a notepad open right in front of you. This is a very bare bones video, and we're just going to be talking about what my channel plans are for 2022. As I'm sure most of you may have noticed, I've kind of slowed down for a bit over probably like the last 2 months, and I'll be honest, that's because I was really just, and I posted about it in my community tab, you know, in pertaining to my Zillia 2 playthrough. The news of Christoria shutting down, which, you know, the game now has like, I think like less than or around 2 weeks left before it completely shuts down. I didn't even cover the update they did, but I guess I'll mention it here. They did an update probably about a week or so ago, where the remaining days that the game was going to be live, they were going to give out, basically, there's a login bonus for 2,500 Gleamstones, so that's a full multi every day. I didn't really cover it because I didn't really see a point, because it was already, like, kind of too late, and I still don't understand why they didn't just, I'm not going to go on a whole tangent, but I'll just say this, I don't understand why they didn't just make the banner free. Let people summon, fill out all the units, and let them use the max duped out units. I don't know why they're still limiting it to the currency that we have, especially when not all units are even on the banner. Anyways, that's enough about that. But that did pertain as to kind of like how things were going. You know, stuff has slowed down because now that Christoria no longer has videos for me to be making, it was pretty much just Raze and SAO Unleashed Blading, which both are games that are very kind of dependent on what's going on. You know, SAO obviously has weekly stuff, but Raze only really has stuff like every 2 weeks, because we usually get 2 events a month, sometimes 3 if we're lucky, and we get a story chapter, so there's not really a lot to cover in terms of like weekly content for Raze, so I really haven't had too much going on, and like I said, my mood was kind of killed for just Tales in general for a little bit once the Christoria shutdown got announced, because I really thought that they would, you know, do better than Raze, which they did do better than Global Raze by about half a year, but even still, it wasn't enough in the end. You know, obviously there's a lot behind the scenes we probably don't understand, but the bottom line is Christoria got shut down. We're getting a manga for it, which is cool, but it's not going to be the same story at all. We never even got to find out what was going on with that Yuri lookalike that was a transgressor from what we could see, and there's just a lot of, you know, bad taste in my mouth when it comes to how Christoria is handled. I hope one day we get a full like console game that tells the original story that they were going to tell, but my hopes are not super high with that. We might just have to be wondering forever what that Yuri was going to be. Anyways, that's kind of talking about, you know, why things have kind of been slow, but I do want to kind of start getting back into the swing of things, you know, having, you know, content more than just like once a week for you guys to watch. So, I'm sure you've already read the very short list I have in front of you. I wasn't going to write full paragraphs because I already know pretty much in my head what I want to say for each thing. I just wanted to write it down so I didn't forget anything. Anything. That's the word I was looking for. So first things first, once Raze tutorial update for the 5th anniversary. So I didn't do a tutorial video, you know, pretty much every year since I've been covering it. I do like an hour-long tutorial video just going over all the different systems. I didn't do one last year because last year, you know, around January time, not really too much had changed from the year before. So I didn't really see a point to really making a video on it. But in the last year, there have been a lot of changes. But I am going to do it differently this year. So that way, let me go into it first. So the way I want to do things is I'm going to make a bunch of videos. And this isn't going to start till the Raze 5th anniversary comes around, because I want to see where the game is going. Obviously, we know it's not shutting down anytime soon. They've already assured us of that, even though this is going to be the end of this current story. It is not going to be the end of Raze. You know, whether we're going to get new protagonists or whether it's just going to be a bunch of side stories here on after, we don't know, but they have assured us the game's not shutting down, it's not going anywhere, it's doing fine. So yeah, I want to wait till the anniversary, see what updates they do, because we are still waiting. They mention it every month that they have a plan to renovate how Spirit Gears work in general. So I want to kind of wait till maybe that's going to happen by the 5th anniversary. But the way I want to kind of do this is, instead of just making one super long video, I am going to just tackle every aspect of the game and make it its own short video. Some of them might only be like 2 minutes long. You know, it might just be like, for example, what's a good one? Spirit Gears, we were just talking about. So for like the Spirit Gear video, it might just be a 3-minute video. I'm going to go over what a Spirit Gear event is when we get new Spirit Gears, and then I will go over, you know, the daily Spirit Gear missions we have. I'll go over what Spirit Gears are and how they work, and that'll be the video. It'll probably be like a 3 or 4 minute video. You know, I'll do a video on how to level up your characters and your gear. I don't know if that'll be the same video or if that'll be separate videos, but that's pretty much what you're going to be looking for. So that way I can have a playlist of stuff that's in the game, and if something ever changes, like if something's not the same or if something gets removed, I can just delete that video and then make a new video right when that system gets implemented and then add it to the playlist. So that way, instead of someone having to look through an entire video for what they're looking for every year, I just have a playlist of stuff that's always there for you guys to see. Like, if you're a new player and you're like, oh, I don't understand how we level up our Spirit Gears once we have enough shards, then you can go to the video where I go over that, and then you'll see it right there, and boom, there you go. So that's my plan for the 5th anniversary for Raze. I do want to do like a full set of tutorials. I don't know how many videos it's going to be, but I will make sure to go over everything separately, because looking at my other videos that I've done for tutorials, I jump around a lot because some mechanics that I'm starting to go over have to do with other things, so I'm jumping all over the game, and I'm sure it gets very confusing. So I think doing everything as its own, like, separate short series of videos, you know, 3-4 minutes long, some of them might only be a minute long if they're really simple. I think it's just better to do it that way. So, that's it for Raze. I don't really have much to say on SAO. Pretty much how I handle SAO is, you know, I go over the banners when they come out, I go over any news that comes out, and then if I pull the new units, I'll play the content that comes out with that unit. But if you guys would like to, because I've been considering doing actual, like, going through the story instead. You know, just like we watch the, episodes, not really episode, but the different stories that come out with each event. But, let me know if you guys would be interested in that, those of you who watch my SAO content. Number 2, continue, Tales of Playthroughs. I want to continue the Tales of Playthroughs, which is obviously where we are right now on my Xillia 2 one. The goal is this upcoming Monday to have everything resumed. So this Monday is going to be the 24th. So the 24th is when I plan for the Xillia 2 playthroughs to be resuming. And then, of course, like I mentioned, we're going to go through all the current ones that we can currently go through. And the order I kind of have in mind is it's going to be Xillia 2, then I'm going to go through Grace's F, because it's still on the... I pretty much want to go through all my PS3 titles first, and then move to the newer stuff. So, I will do Grace's F, then we'll do both Symphonias, since I have Symphonia Chronicles, and then that'll be it for the PS3 titles that we can currently play. And then after that, I will do Zestiria first, and then Berseria second, when it comes to the PS4 titles. And then after that, you know, whenever that gets... I'm sure we're probably... By the time I get through all that, because that's a lot of games to go through, we'll probably know what the next title is going to be, whether it's a remake, remaster, just port, whatever. I mean, and that kind of also goes into number 7, but I'll go more into that later. Because obviously, if a remaster or a port gets announced, that will also get added to the list of games I play. And if it does get announced while I'm still going through games, that will take priority over the other stuff, so that, since it's going to be the shiny new toy, so to speak. So let's say, for example, Tales of the Abyss gets a remaster for PS5, then, or PS4, PS5, whatever it's going to be on. Then, of course, whatever I'm playing through at that moment will get put on hold. And then I will play through that and then resume, kind of like we did with Arise. We finished Xillia, then we played through Arise, and then started Xillia 2. So it'll be a similar situation to that. So that's pretty much what I have to say on the Tales of Playthroughs. I guess the other thing to mention is that, obviously, for Zillia 2, and Graces, they all are being played in English because it's the only option available. But for Symphonia, Dawn of the New World, and then Zestiria and Berseria, just like with my Arise playthrough, I'll be playing those games in Japanese because it's the voices I'm most used to. So that's pretty much it for the playthrough stuff. Tales of Luminaria. I want to really bring more content for it to the channel. It got, you know, a little tedious at first to really record videos because I didn't have anything for any of these characters, and it was almost impossible to play as these characters. Plus, they were still trying to rework how the game kind of plays, but now I think it's finally at a point where I feel more comfortable kind of like just going back and doing what I kind of started, where it's just playing through the episode. I don't know if I want to change it to doing just like a weekly stream since we get weekly episodes, or if I'm just going to continue to do it video style, but we'll see. But with the Crossroads episode, from what I understand, that's going to be like an actual like episode like the ones we've gotten. And that one should release next Wednesday from what I understand. So when that releases, that will be my first time back. I'm going to play through all the other ones before next Wednesday that I still have to do. I think I still have like 7 episodes to go through. Lucian's just got released yesterday, and he was the final character to get his first episode. So once I blaze through all those, then next Wednesday we will start with the Crossroads episode. And everything from there forward, I will either make, you know, videos or streams, however I decide to handle it. So that's pretty much it for like Tales stuff, for the most part. Now I want to talk with some non-Tales stuff that I like to bring to the channel. So those who follow me on Twitter will know that I am a huge Final Fantasy XIV fan. I've been playing the game. I'm going to go more into this. It's going to be its own separate video. But I've been playing the game pretty much, you know, on and off at times since about 2016. But I do want to bring Final Fantasy XIV to the channel. I have done a couple streams before. You know, some people may have seen those streams that I've done. But what I want to do, and it's kind of funny that I'm doing this at the end of a saga, but maybe it's kind of good that I'm doing it this way. Starting, and you'll only understand this Final Fantasy lingo if you play the game, but starting with 6.1, which will be, you know, the start of whatever is going to, you know, ensue for the next 10 years. I am going to start doing, I'm not streams, I'm going to do recorded story content for it. You may see a video here and there if I ever decide to like record a video for like a raid or something that I do for the first time. But for the most part, what I want to do is I want to have a playlist starting with 6.1, and just every time there's a new story update, and then of course when the new expansion comes out, that will be its own video series as well, kind of added on top of this. But for right now, you know, pretty much we get new story content every like 3 or 4 months in between expansions. So I will be doing that. And, you know, like I said, any raids or, you know, alliance raids, stuff like that that come out that are new, maybe I'll make those into their own videos as well. So, but first I am going to make a video that kind of just, you know, I talk about my journey through Final Fantasy XIV. I don't think it's going to have much spoilers. It's just going to kind of talk about like how I got into the game, you know, how I enjoy it, stuff like that. So that's pretty much it for that. I have mentioned this before, and I've seen people ask me if I would ever do playthroughs of the Trail series, and I am definitely wanting to do that. The only thing I'm kind of thinking about, and that kind of goes through my head, is a couple things. First thing, excuse me. The first thing is, for Trails in the Sky, for example, all 3 Trails in the Sky games are on PC. It's really the only way to play it over here in the West. So my computer is not as good as it once was. So recording that on the same PC that I'm recording with would be a little difficult. I definitely need to get a new PC, which I do plan to do over the next few months. So once that happens, I would definitely consider starting that. But until that point, I don't think I will. You know, obviously I can do the console ones, but the 3 Trails in the Sky games are only on PC, so I really don't have an alternative to kind of record those. But it is definitely something I do want to have a full series playthrough on the channel at some point. The other thing, obviously, is that I do end up playing the Japanese version of the game before the English one comes out because it's so far away. So that's the other thing. You're probably never going to see a blind playthrough from me unless I ever decide to just play the Japanese version with the overlay as like a playthrough, but I haven't decided if I would want to do that. Number 6 over here, other RPG playthroughs. There are, you know, some other RPGs that I've done early on. I don't think they're on my channel anymore. They might be. They might have actually been on my old channel. That I may just, you know, every now and then, if I have nothing going on and I just want to, you know, record something fun. Obviously, I'm not expecting it to do crazy well since most people are subscribed to my channel for Tales and SAO. So if I do something like Paper Mario, for example, which is probably one of my favorite games of all time, you know, if I do a playthrough for that, I don't expect it to do wow, if I could stop mumbling over my words. I don't expect it to do crazy well, but I still think I would have fun doing it, and anyone who would enjoy seeing that would probably enjoy that as well. So do expect, you know, if there are any games that come out that I feel like recording instead of just playing on my own, that will definitely be happening as well. Since I mentioned Paper Mario, that's definitely a game I plan to put on the channel at some point. So if you are a fan of that, look forward to that. And then lastly, covering, you know, pretty much went over this already, covering Tales of News as it arises. Tales of Festival, I assume, is going to be back to its normal time in June. I believe it's June when it usually is. So roughly about 5 months from now, a little less than 5 months from now should be, you know, Tales of Festival 2022. And I do expect that they're going to probably announce something. I mean, Tales of Festival isn't like a news convention. You know, obviously it's for a lot more than that. But I do think it will be a good time to be like, okay, this is what we're kind of working on, you know, whether it's a port, a remaster, a remake. They did just have a Q&A where they kind of asked what fans would want to see when it comes to stuff like that. So whether they do like something like Tales of Destiny, you know, maybe we get the remastered version that already exists and they just port it, kind of like they did with Vesperia Definitive Edition. But yeah, so stuff like that, whenever news comes out with stuff like that, I'll continue to do that as well. So this is kind of like the layout I have for this year when it comes to this stuff. If you have anything, you know, relative to this kind of stuff that you'd like to see me do, or something that you've seen me be interested in that you think, you know, you would like to see me like actually do on the channel, then I'm always open to suggestions as well. But this is kind of what my layout is going to be. I'm going to get back into the grind of getting stuff out to you guys. Obviously, the last 2 months have been kind of weird just because of Christoria's shutdown. But I will be hopping back into things, so look forward to all of that. But let me know what you guys think down below. Hope you're all having a wonderful 2022 so far. Thank you all for those of you who, well, just anyone who's ever clicked on one of my videos before. I definitely appreciate it. I never thought I would have over 3,000 subscribers, honestly. When I first made this channel, you know, I was doing like random, like if you look at my old videos, it's random stuff. Like I think I had a few videos talking about leaks for like anime and stuff like that. And then I eventually decided to just start with Tales stuff. I started, you know, recording Tales of the Rays Global and then the Japanese version. And that pretty much brought us to down the road to where we are today. So I thank you everyone for your support. I hope you all have a wonderful 2022. And I'm very excited to see what this year has to offer. So that's going to be it, guys. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos to the channel. I'll see you all next time. Have a wonderful day, everyone.